All right, welcome back to Food for Thought, everybody. The topic of conversation for today's episode is going to be trying to not live for temporary things and this earth, which is temporary. And this is going to be from the point of view of me being a Christian who just read. Let me get the book 1 second. I just read day number 6 of this book, Purpose-Driven Life, or The Purpose-Driven Life, which my friend, really good friend, gave to me. I'm on day 6. You read one chapter a day for 40 days. And the book talked today about how life on earth is temporary and you should be living for what is eternal in heaven. And that's going to be what we're talking about for today. So let's hop straight into it. Give me 1 sec. I'm trying to fix this camera. There we go. All right. It's going to be a nice and quick breakfast today because I'm trying to get to Costco before the rush. If you know, you know. So we got some oats, protein powder, vanilla, cranberries, dried, some 70% Lindt chocolate, a little bit of ground cinnamon to top it off, and frozen berries. So let's hop right into it. So the book today talked about how the Bible tells us so many times that our time on this earth is temporary, and it's not, our time on this earth is not what's important, is not what we should be living for. We shouldn't be living for things of the world. We shouldn't be living for the flesh, as in our bodies, as in money, fame, popularity. That's not any of the stuff we should be living for. What we should be living for is what's up after life, which is death and heaven. Now, it talks about how earth is not our home, and as soon as we stop treating earth as our home, that's what allows us as Christians to live for God and to live for heaven together. That's something really hard to do. But having that mindset of earth not actually being your home, that allows you to deal with the struggles a lot better. That allows you to live for God a lot better. Because, and give me 1 sec, I'm going to turn you around real quick. Get a bit of water in here. Not too much. I'll need more, but I'll add it as I want. So when you think of earth as being temporary, as earth, your life here as not being the final destination, that frees you up to, first of all, prioritize things that are coming after more, because you realize this is temporary, but what's after life on earth is forever. It's not temporary, right? And why would you live for something that's temporary, that's finite, that's temporal, when you could live for something that's eternal, that never goes away, that never stops giving, which is eternity in heaven with God, with Jesus. Delicious. All right. Might not look that good right now, but give it a sec. It'll come together. So through that lens that earth is only temporary, That makes things such as being persecuted here, being judged, being whatever it is. You know, here, we're so blessed in the Western world here to be able to worship what we want freely and not be persecuted, like actually persecuted for it. But there are many people in the world right now who are Christians who have way more at risk, like are way more at risk to be literally like physically harmed when they speak about their faith, and yet they still do it. And that's really what living for what's eternal means. If you can get to a place where you'd be willing to do that, I think that's a good sign that you realize how temporary life on earth is. The Bible describes our lives on earth as, you know, just a wisp of smoke, a shadow, just, you know, in terms of eternity, our lives are so short. They go by like that. You know, between maybe 7 and 10 decades you're here on this earth, and we can't comprehend it while we're here, but eternity is incomprehensibly more than that. So if you can put that into perspective, that will help you if you're struggling like me with worrying about the future, with worrying about what you are going to do here on this earth. That'll help with pursuit of, you know, the wrong things. It's so easy to get caught up in chasing after money and after popularity and all these things. But we have to remind ourselves that popularity, all that stuff, it's not worth being the main drive. That was really bad. Voice crack. Oh my god. Okay. It's not worth being the main driver in your life whatsoever. Because you'll realize at the end of your life that it goes by so quickly, and what we really should be living for is glorifying God and uplifting others, helping others, which is definitely easy to say and not easy to execute. For example, I struggle a lot with, right now, especially with knowing what my future holds. And me, I'm an 18-year-old kid in university, and I don't know what my career is going to be yet. And that's hard. I want that security, I want that safety, you know, I want to do what I want to do, obviously. But reading that chapter today just helped put it into perspective. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter specifically what I end up doing here on this earth, as long as it fits under the criteria of glorifying God and helping others. It doesn't matter whether that's through being a coach, whether that's through whatever, social media, anything really, cooking. That's not what's important. The money that I make is not what's important. And it's, you know, I'm saying that now, but it's not like I have this all figured out. This is just what I know is right, but is not easy to execute. And one way to help with that is to ask God. Ask God for help. Ask Him to change your heart, change your mind. Ask him to show you how temporary our lives are. Ask him to help you, to show you how to live for him. Ask him for the strength to do so. The Bible tells us that God will never give us tests that exceed our ability to pass them. He'll never give us a test that we have to fail, that we have no chance of succeeding in, because he can help us to pass any test. So any test that he gives us, he can help us pass. You know, it's like your teacher giving you a test and then walking around the room during the test and helping you with any question that's on the test. You know, you can't fail that test if you can ask your teacher for help who made the test, right? They know the answers, they know what to do. If you ask them and they're willing to help, then you can't fail. And I think that's a good way of looking at how God tests us. But you know, that's not a completely sound analogy, because that implies that you can do it all by yourself if you study hard enough. But in truth, that's not actually how it is. You do need God. You can't do it all by yourself. So that's not a perfect analogy, but it's a way to think about how he will help you during tests and trials. But this test that he's putting us through, only he could ever know the answers to. It's not a test that you can study for to pass. You need help from the teacher. So this is breakfast for today. It's gonna be very delicious, and I will be heading off to Costco very soon, right after I finish this breakfast, actually. So let's go through the main points of the episode for today. Main point of the episode was that you have to live for what is eternal and not what is temporary. Everything on this earth is temporary. All the money, all the possessions, all of the fame, all of that is temporary, but your relationship with God and what happens after death is eternal, right? So why would you live for something that is going to last a fraction of what something else could last for? Eternity is so big, we can't even comprehend it. And once you truly realize that, once you actually think about it, it's easy to just be like, oh, I'll think about that when the time comes. But when you actually think about it, it becomes obvious how insignificant our time on this earth is. Now, that doesn't mean that you can just spend it doing whatever you want to do. No, you need to, life on earth is a test. It's a trial for life after what's on earth. So you need to treat this just as you would treat, eternity. You need to do the things here that you would do in eternity, because ultimately how you choose to think about life here, your relationship with Jesus, is what determines whether you spend eternity separate from God or with God. So live for what is eternal, not for what is temporary. And now some quick admin stuff. I should be getting, number one, a stainless steel pan, which is super awesome. I'm super grateful for my parents for that. They got me a stainless steel pan for my birthday, and I'm super excited. It came in the mail yesterday, but it's just at the front desk down there, and they had closed by the chance that I would have gotten to pick up the package. So I'll pick up that package today, which I'm super excited for. And as well, I should be getting a wireless mic to attach to my shirt, so the sound quality should go way up. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.